Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mondoid, your one-stop shop for all things Project Zomboid. It is that time of the week. Mondoid has returned, and you will not be getting a face cam because I do not look face cam worthy. I wanted to actually do the face cam earlier today, but I ended up getting tied up in a bunch of stuff and wasn't able to record at that point in time. And as time went, articles of clothing came off, and now I'm just doing it naked, and I just don't feel like putting that on a camera.
I'm not actually doing it naked.
Anyway, it seems like it's just going to be another one of those Mondoids. There's not going to be a whole lot to talk about here, but there are some things that I do personally want to talk about, so please stick around. There is some stuff that I feel is important that at the very least pertains to my channel. But first, let's just talk Mondoid. It's just another, as they say, getting on with it Mondoid. There is, again, not a whole lot to report on. Things are going as planned, essentially, and what more could you really ask for? There's no major kinks that they seem to talk about. The first thing that they speak about is just the interim build. So one of the things they did say on the forums and through Twitter and stuff a few times was that they were planning on potentially giving an interim build, a build that would work for some people but not for everybody, that would implement some of the new changes, as in like just optimization, but not all of them. And that build is on Steam right now. The difference, or the problem rather, that you might want to call it, is that it does not work on 32-bit systems. So instead of forcing this update on all Steam users, they have made it a separate option that you can go into the beta tabs for and opt into test for or download. So if you're a 32-bit user, then you do not have to worry about your Steam automatically updating and updating to the new interim build, or whatever you fucking call it. You don't have to worry about it. It's gonna work. For all 64-bit users, we can go on and download that right away. It's just gonna allow, again, it's for us to try out and play with. It's the Meteor build. What this does mean is that the progress is being made towards the early access version, which I don't even actually know what they're waiting for early access. I think it's the tutorial. I think it's the Kate and Baldspot tutorial and a couple other things before the early access build. But this means they are making progress towards it. Things to note with this particular build, if you're a 64-bit user, is that you can't use the Steam overlay when you have this build. It's disabled for the time being. It's temporary. It's due to the fact that enabling it for 64-bit builds would involve installing Linux and Mac OSs, installing new environments on said OSs, and recompiling things. As a happy side effect, no longer will PZ players annoy the crap out of people on their Steam list with restarting the game after each death. That's true. That's true. Though if you're like me, you're pro and you don't die. So they're going to look into the 32-bit version as well. I think that also means that there is no... Yeah, it's right here. There's also no Linux and Mac builds running on the 64-bit version yet anyway, so if you're a Steam, if you're rather a Linux or a Mac user, you will not be getting an interim build, but again, it's all temporary. You're all going to get your stuff eventually. Another point to mention is that the West Point is almost there. It's another topic they're talking about. West Point is getting there. It's almost there. In fact, the way they speak in this paragraph makes it sound like it's actually really close to finished, which is exciting because for me, it's going to inject a whole new exciting area to try and survive in. A lot of the problem, or should I say not a problem, but a lot of what on my channel right now is that Zomboid has kind of, I don't want to say run its course. It's I've definitely seen everything there is in Zomboid, so I'm becoming a little bit less infrequent with the posting of the videos, and you guys seem to be getting a little tired of seeing the videos every single day. So for now, me personally, I'm going to be taking it down a notch. You will still see Zomboid on the channel, but it will not be every single day, and I will have other content up and running in its place over time. But with West Point coming out, if West Point does come out shortly, we will be seeing more Zomboid on my channel because there's going to be a whole new area for me to go explore and check out all the cool stuff that Mash has done in her art. So I'm very excited to see West Point finally finished up. It's going to be a hell of an adventure getting there because it's going to be a huge area, but it's going to be super awesome, and I'm excited for that. And the final topic is 3D stuff. Honestly, I don't know much about what they're saying. They're talking a little bit about how they're doing it, I guess. It's just basically they're working on the 3D stuff that they've already mentioned. I don't really understand exactly what they're talking about here. It's just not my, forte. I don't really understand it all that well. I'm not going to lie and say I do. And what it does sound like is that they're making progress, and there seems to be a lot going into it, which means that there's going to be a lot. And it says the editor support also. There's going to be some good editor support, which means roofs have been added to the system as 3D objects, allowing us to light the roofs of buildings much better, as well as potentially allowing them. I have no idea. This is a good thing for you guys to come to the blog and read yourself. Maybe you'll get it better than I do. As far as I understood, is that they're just making progress on the 3D stuff, and the rest of it is technical babble that I don't quite get. Again, a getting on with it thing. The one thing I did say I wanted to talk about, I kind of brought up already. You will be seeing a little bit less Zomboid on the channel, just because, again, I've seen everything there is to see. I definitely want to live out the rest of my character's life before I bring it down a notch, but less Zomboid probably, and I'm saying probably every other day as opposed to every day. That way we have stuff in the meantime, other things that we can highlight, and once big updates come, and we, especially once we hit the early access release, it'll ramp right back up to every single day. But hey, thanks for swinging by this Mondoid. If you're one of those once-a-weekers, I will see you next week. If you're an everyday visitor, I will see you later today. And as always, I'll see you all next time.